World War II was a journey from unimaginable destruction to hard-earned victory, a conflict that tested the strength, patience, and determination of nations across the globe. Between 1939 and 1945, the world witnessed devastation on a scale never seen before. Yet it also saw resilience, unity, and sacrifice. It ultimately led to triumph over aggression and oppression. This transformation from chaos to victory shaped the modern world and left lessons that continue to echo through history. The war began with destruction. When Germany invaded Poland in September 1939, it triggered a chain reaction that quickly spread across Europe. Within months, powerful nations fell under occupation. Cities that once symbolized culture and progress were reduced to rubble. Families were separated, economies collapsed, and fear became part of daily life. The rapid advance of Axis forces created a sense of hopelessness. It appeared as though no one could stop the wave of conquest. France fell swiftly, and Britain stood almost alone in Western Europe. Bombings turned peaceful neighborhoods into fields of smoke and fire. The Battle of Britain showed how close destruction came to overwhelming resistance. Night after night, bombs fell from the sky. Yet the spirit of the people refused to break. Even in the darkest hours, determination began to grow quietly beneath the surface of destruction. Meanwhile, the war expanded eastward and southward. Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union opened one of the most brutal chapters in history. Entire cities were destroyed, and millions suffered under extreme conditions. In North Africa, desert battles raged as both sides fought for control of strategic routes. In Asia and the Pacific, Japan expanded rapidly, bringing war to new territories and creating further devastation. The attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 marked another turning point, pulling the United States fully into the conflict. At this stage, destruction seemed unstoppable. Civilians bore much of the suffering. Homes were destroyed, food was scarce, and constant fear shaped everyday life. Children grew up surrounded by sirens and ruins. Soldiers faced unimaginable hardship on distant battlefields. The world appeared trapped in a cycle of violence, with no clear end in sight. Yet within this destruction, seeds of victory were quietly forming. The entry of the United States brought enormous industrial strength and fresh military power to the Allied side. Factories worked around the clock, producing ships, tanks, aircraft, and supplies. Cooperation between nations became stronger. Shared goals replaced isolation, and alliances deepened. This unity marked the beginning of a slow but steady shift from survival to resistance. One of the first major signs of change came in the Battle of Stalingrad. After months of brutal fighting, German forces were forced to surrender. This victory was more than military success. It proved that the Axis powers could be defeated. In North Africa, Allied victories further weakened enemy control. In the Pacific, naval battles such as Midway shifted momentum away from Japanese expansion. The transformation from destruction to victory was not immediate. It required sacrifice on an enormous scale. Soldiers stormed beaches under heavy fire during the Normandy landings in 1944, opening a new front in Western Europe. The courage displayed during this operation became a symbol of hope. As Allied forces advanced, occupied nations were gradually liberated. People who had lived under years of control and fear finally saw the possibility of freedom. Victory in Europe came in 1945, when Germany surrendered after its leadership collapsed and its cities were overtaken. The images of ruined buildings and exhausted soldiers showed the cost of war, but they also marked the end of tyranny in the region. In the Pacific, fierce fighting continued until Japan surrendered later that year, bringing the global conflict to a close. The path from destruction to victory was paved with resilience. Women stepped into factories and essential services, keeping economies alive. Resistance movements disrupted enemy operations from within occupied territories. Intelligence efforts and code-breaking operations quietly changed the course of battles. Each contribution, whether on the front lines or at home, played a role in turning despair into progress. When the war ended, victory did not erase the destruction, but it created the opportunity for rebuilding. Nations began reconstructing cities and restoring economies. International cooperation grew stronger, leading to the formation of global institutions aimed at preserving peace. The devastation of World War II convinced many leaders that unity was essential to prevent future conflicts. The war also redefined global power. Old empires weakened, and new superpowers emerged. Societies changed socially and economically. Women gained greater recognition for their contributions. Colonized nations sought independence, reshaping the political map of the world. The destruction that once seemed final became the starting point for a transformation. World War II remains a powerful reminder that even in the face of overwhelming destruction, victory is possible through unity, sacrifice, and determination. It showed that aggression and oppression can be resisted when nations stand together. The journey from destruction to victory was not just about military success. It was about preserving freedom, dignity, and hope. The legacy of this war continues to influence modern society. It teaches that peace requires constant effort and that the cost of conflict is far greater than its temporary gains. The world that emerged after 1945 was shaped by both the ruins of destruction and the triumph of victory. This transformation stands as one of history's most defining chapters, proving that even in humanity's darkest hours, resilience can lead to renewal and a better future.